So blessed to be with you today. It's the Kevin Miller Christmas party. We've got Shay with us, Bruce. We've got David from California. We've got Two Fly Bry. We've got Terry from State College, Pennsylvania. Austin in for Ray Amaya, Tea Party Bob, and continuing to take your calls at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. We're talking about funding for the wall. We'll talk a little bit more about that, and then we've got some other questions. But if you want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. By the way, Jason the Bread Man, he said to me, Kevin Miller, hey, should I dress up for the Christmas party? I didn't see anything on Facebook. Well, we deliberately don't put anything on Facebook about the Christmas party because, well, quite frankly, we don't want Zuckerberg zapping us for this. But, and we choose to communicate the old-fashioned way through the radio. But he wanted to know if he should wear a button-up shirt, and he wanted to know if he should really bring bread to the Christmas party. Yes. We've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Six people here that would like some bread from Jason the Bread Man. So hopefully he'll be showing up, and you're welcome as well. We're here at the Broadcast Center, where once a year we have everybody who contributes come on in and have a good time. Before we get to our phone calls, do you want to say anything, my jolly little elf friend?
I'm going to bring some organic bread.
Okay. That's what we call a buzzkill right there. Bruce, your thoughts?
Well, dress up. We're all dressed here for radio. I mean, we've got the faces for it, so.
Sure. Terry is the best dressed of all of us, which he always is. Let's go to the phones. Tom in Nampa, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Hello, Tom.
Good morning. Yeah, just do a quick follow-up. I called yesterday. I know you're not supposed to call that often, but this is just a follow-up. That GoFundMe page to build the wall.
Yeah, please go ahead, Tom.
They talked about?
Yeah.
There, your news announcement was a little bit behind. It's not $2 million. It's $3,460,929 as of just now. At this rate, I think they're going to have $500 million or halfway there. They wanted to have $1 billion. I think they're going to have halfway there by the end of the weekend.
Well, it does show the great disconnect between the elected officials and the people. What's the website there?
It's GoFundMe. We the people will fund the wall. I have a quick question for you. Now, this fella named Trump, he has got some familiarity with building stuff. What happens if he just tells Schumer and Pelosi, tell you what, why don't you stay shut down? I'm going to go to the southern border and build the wall myself. Because I assume that there's private ownership of land right up to the border in places out in the tall and the uncut. What if he just starts building the thing himself or supervises it with this funding? And it's like, okay, we're going to build a wall. I mean, we put up a great big sign on it that says, Dear Obama, we did build this ourselves. And if they ever get off their fantail and finance it with government money, we can tie it in, But wouldn't it be a heck of a note if the American people just built this ourselves? Kind of like a barn raising. We're just going to do what we need to do to take care of our community.
Well, Tom, we'll throw it out to the panel, but I like that. Maybe instead of, going to a trip overseas, we could just have a bus trip to the wall, and we could, literally have some shovel-ready projects.
Yeah, of course, we were really smart. We'd use this as the back wall of a Costco. Because you ever tried to get into a Costco without showing the proper ID? Hey,
yep.
That little grandmother-type lady at the front desk, she looks harmless. She ain't. She got a mean streak in her, boy. She is not going to let you in without showing proper ID.
Well, yes, Tom,
one
go
last
ahead.
question for you.
Right.
These people are throwing in, I'm looking at the, $5 here, $10, $25, $80. People are averaging about $61 to get here. Because it's only been, according to the chart here, 56,208 people have contributed in the last 3 days. San Francisco prides itself on being very politically correct and morally superior and all this stuff. San Francisco, Silicon Valley, they got a pot full of millionaires, right? And they've got some serious homeless issues. People, pooing on the street and all this. Why don't all these millionaires get together and use some of their own money to take care of San Francisco instead of screaming how the government has to fund this and the government has to, break out the wallets, fellas and gals. Take care of your own city with your own money, just for the new experience of it. I have yet to see any of these clowns do that. They want to clean up San Francisco. They want to make the world wonderful. Start with your own neighborhood, not the one that's gated with the armed guards, but San Francisco where people are living on the street in tents. Looks like Somalia. Clean up your own act. Clean up your own act with your own money, just for a change. I'm sorry, the Hollywood and San Francisco hypocrites get on my case.
All right.
You all have a Merry Christmas now.
All right. God bless. Before we get back to the phone calls, reaction to what Tom had to say.
Great idea. I think it's a terrific idea. I think they should build this wall. And get your fingers away from my mic, Terry.
Yeah, Terry, let Tea Party Bob speak for a minute. Don't be a bully.
We're going to make you one of these. Anyway, I do think it's a good idea. I think it's showing that the people actually do care about this wall. Whether the congressmen or the senators actually care about it, that's another story. I think they're all trying to buy up the land that the wall's going to go on so they can resell it back to the government, to be very honest, like Harry Reid did down in Nevada for many years. But when it comes right down to it, maybe we have to we actually have to take this into our own hands. Maybe it takes that kind of an action for these politicians to finally figure out that it's time to do something that the people really want them to do. Because they haven't done anything for the last, gosh knows how long, 20 years that we wanted. We wind up with all kinds of wars. We wind up with all kinds of taxations. We wind up with all kinds of regulations. If it wasn't for Trump, we still wouldn't have an economy that's worthwhile. So, yeah, go do it. I'll contribute. I'll spend some money.
All right, there we have it. Anybody else want to speak here before we go to the phones?
I mean, we can make a very big stand if everybody who wants the wall built would just walk down there and hold hands and show Congress exactly how many people want the wall built. Maybe they'll take the visual cue and do the right thing.
All right, we go to Two Fly Bry.
I actually am opposed to the wall being built. Just like you got a thief.
David, how did you let him in here, David? Go ahead, Two Fly Bry.
The thing is that no matter what law you pass that says, hey, you can't have gun control, a thief is still going to get a gun. That's their mindset. No matter what we build or what we do at the border, there's still going to be people be coming over. And so it's not really, I don't see it as something. I just wonder what Reagan would say. He said tear down the Berlin Wall. Of course, that was reuniting a nation. I realize that. But if you look at the places where they have the walls, it's about separating people. I do believe there needs to be a naturalization laws in place for naturalization. That's great. I think we have some good ones. We need some better improvement on that. But I don't think that a physical barrier is going to get us much of a difference as to our immigration issues that we have right now.
I tend to disagree with that because I think what we're going to see is it's going to slow down the traffic considerably. It will give our Border Patrol a much better chance, at apprehending those that are attempting to come across. When you look at the GoFundMe page, if the 83 million people that supported Mr. Trump would each donate $80, guess how much money we'd have? Guess what wall would get built? The $5 billion, the wall goes up.
Well, what do you say what Brian says? It's not going to make a difference.
It's going to make a difference. It's going to slow it down considerably. We can put a lot less time and effort into our southern border at that particular moment. If we have something that's going to stop them in their tracks, a 30-foot wall, that's going to stop them. That's going to slow them down. It's going to make the process of coming across much more difficult than walking.
Yeah, the wall is not going to 100% stop the problem. It's only part of it. The other part is we got to get rid of the carrot. We got to get rid of everything so that when they do get over here, they've got nothing. They don't get Social Security. They don't get food stamps. They don't get housing. They don't get anything.
Wait a minute. Wasn't David supposed to go, Bruce? But anyway, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, Bruce just stole half of my thunder. One is a question, though. Again, I'm for the wall, but I'm not for the wall in the respect of who are we actually trying to thwart coming here? If you're thwarting families that are coming over to get, all this freebie stuff that our government hands them, but yet won't take care of our own people like veterans, or is it people that are coming over, again, California, migrant farmers trying to be legal, but their own system is so corrupt that this becomes the system. But are we also trying to stop this whole war on drugs and stuff? Because if you build a wall above ground, what about the hundreds of miles of underground access to America? Are we going to blow them up? How are we going to stop drugs and people coming underground into this country? So, okay, electronics.
That's a good point. When you think about it, this should not be a wall situation. This should be about drugs. It should be about the illegal immigration, and we should be talking about our borders, not the wall. There are so many different ways to protect the border, and it starts with taking down the welcome sign. Welcome here. We have all the social necessities that you might want: medical care, health care. Food.
Before we get back to the debate, I think Bruce had the floor here. By the way, you're listening to Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio, our annual Christmas party coming up. R&R and Liberal Steve, but back to you, sir.
Yeah, it just, to me, we keep trying to plug the hole after the boat's sunk. We need to get rid of the water that's in the boat to right the boat back up. Right now, people can go to work and they don't get deported. They're making money. They're doing all sorts of things where Americans can't right now. And to me, we got to penalize the people that help out the illegal aliens who come here illegally. I believe in immigration. I believe we should have a great system where people can come here, but they need to do it legally. I know a lot of people that spent 10, 15 years trying to come here. They finally came here. They're proud to be Americans. Now people are just walking across the border carrying the Mexican flag or the Guatemalan flag and saying, voila, we claim this land in name of Guatemala, whatever.
Guatemala. All right, let's go back to the phones. R&R joining us. R&R, you calling from Idaho Falls?
Yeah, I got out of the Treasure Valley. There's great weather over here and the phenomenal hills and snowmobiling. And so here's my concept. I'll go back to 1964 because that's when the dole came out and we couldn't get the migrant transient and the wonderful families that were hillbillies to pick the fruit and blah, blah, blah. So I've been harvesting fields and building roofs and worked on the road with migrants from Mexico since basically 64. And I love them, and they can work as hard as me. And everybody that came in during those years, I'm certain second and third generations, I mean, some of the fastest kids on the basketball team were Latinos. And the issue of the border and our commander-in-chief and wonderful man, President Trump, has built more structures than any of us combined, sitting here on the phone talking trash. But I think it's only the herdsmen of the dachshund that can control the underground plethora of evil. So those tunnels should be manned by people that love dachshunds and keep the cartel and Sinaloa and MS-13, and it really is the trafficking of human bodies and drugs and fentanyl that we want to keep out. And I'm still waiting to hear your broadcast, simulcast in Espani, and a call out to my best friends in Star Tire and Auto, and I will volunteer to build the wall somewhere in Arizona. I used to carry hod and build brick, and also I'd throw down money. There's money waiting at Star Tire and Auto for my contribution to building the wall. And bless all you that love dachshunds, and thank you, Kay Millie, for being the voice of reason. Peace out.
Thank you, R&R. You have a Merry Christmas.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Calling in from Idaho Falls. Coming up, David, we'll get to you. plus Liberal Steve. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Here we go. Back. The Kevin Miller Christmas party continues 2018. We go to the phones. Liberal Steve joins us now on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
Buenos dias and Feliz Navidad, Idaho, and to all the working class peasants you have in the studio there, Miller. There'll be no wall. That's guaranteed. We know there'll be no wall, and we know that Trump, who we, the liberals, put in place, so we'd have 4 years of insanity, so we could walk right in forever and take over. So there'd be no wall. And pulling the people out of Syria, that was an order from Putin, period. And for Trump to say ISIS has been defeated, that's another line we told him to say, but that's fake news. We all know that's fake. Even his own Republicans are putting it out. But your people believe it. So I've got hopefully 2 hemp factories going in now. And I believe that a lot of your people said, we'll never have hemp in Idaho. You all have a Merry Christmas and stay fired up. And we'll make it happen for you.
There are a couple people that want to engage with you. Are you up for that, or are you going to leave?
Thank God there is no wall, because we're going to need lots of people to harvest that hemp.
Okay, never mind. Terry, go ahead.
We are starting a no gun or a GoFundMe page for you, LS. I think you'll be very thankful, but you can proudly stand up in the crowd and say, I have had sexual reassignment.
Now, Terry, that's not nice. We apologize for that comment by Terry.
You can't account for who you invite here, you know.
Apparently.
Now we can use the GoFundMe to send him to Venezuela.
Now, go ahead, Tea Party Bob.
No, I wanted to get back to this wall. We're talking about the wrong problem. The problem is not a wall. We should be talking about so many other things.
Well, before we do that, though, Brian wanted to reaffirm why he's against the wall.
It's not the wall that's the problem. It's the government that is trying to say we do or we don't need it. And really, it comes back to we the people that are the problem in all this. We've got to. It's not the wall. It's not the immigrants that are the challenge here. It's how we are letting this country become, or it has become, and it'll be a very hard challenge to get it back to some confident values and morals and focus that we need as in this culture. And that's the problem, is that we've gone all the wrong direction. We've allowed it to go the wrong direction. So that's why I'm saying I don't believe the wall. It's just a Band-Aid on somebody's severed leg. I don't know. That's all I'm looking at it. You got to take a look at the major wound and take care of that. The wound is deep in our heart here in America. That's the problem.
Ryan, this problem has been going on for the last 40 or 50 years, and it starts with the educational process. And until you change the educational process and you go back to a classical education, you're not going to change anything.
Yeah, but that's going to take years and years and years. All right, back to the conversation here. Where are we?
I was talking about education, but nobody wanted to listen.
Oh, well,
sure. Let's go back to, I understand where you're coming from, but why not build a wall?
Because that is merely just a feel-good. We've done something physical, and maybe that'll help something when it comes back to the values and the morals that we have in this country. Well, this country is in dire need of a revolutionary reformation to occur in our hearts. Before that happens, all this other stuff we're trying to do, it will get us nowhere. It'll just continue to put your pearls before the swine kind of thing.
Right, but, again, that's going to take too long to make that happen. Tea Party Bob.
Well,
one could argue there is a reformation going on right now, and it's called the Libs. They've taken over like the Sith.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, they have.
Yeah. I don't know how you get that back without the media.
The quickest way you're going to solve the problem is E-Verify. If you stop the immigrants from coming in and getting jobs, you'll stop the inflow of the illegals. But they're not going to do that, and you can see that with the Chamber of Commerce. You can see that with the Congress not listening to the people, but listening to business, because they want cheap labor. They've always wanted cheap labor. I mean, look at people like Hewlett-Packard, who have a mandate to hire 70% of their people from outside the country.
Now, where'd you get that from?
I got that from people at Hewlett-Packard.
They're saying what?
That they actually had a mandate to hire 70% of their people from out of country.
Now, you're a journalist, correct?
Yes.
So, if that's the case, do you have two sources?
No, I have three.
You have three sources, three quotable sources.
One who was actually fired.
Three quotable sources.
And let go because they were bringing someone else in from out of country, and he was required to train them after 20 years of service.
All right. Three. More coming up next. Max will rejoin us from Tokyo. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. And we continue on. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, the Christmas party. Max joins us once again from Tokyo. Good morning, Max.
Good morning. You know, I had to call back in to make a comment on the wall and a comment on Steve. Which do you want first?
Either or.
I'm going to be nice. Steve, liberal Steve, you are proof that brain transplant surgery, brain reassignment surgery is possible. Somewhere in the world, there is a poor baboon putting up with your brain. Okay, other than that, the thought of the wall frightens me because a wall that keeps them out can keep us in. What does your panel have to say about that?
Vatican II, is that why they have a wall around it?
All right, Max, thank you again for joining us from Tokyo. Let's go to Brian in Nampa, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Brian.
Merry Christmas, Kevin.
Merry Christmas, Brian.
What do you want for Christmas this year?
To make it through this show.
You know, Kevin, sometimes things happen and it's the Lord trying to wake us up. I was born with sleep apnea, so was my son. And didn't know about it till about 2 years ago. And it's been a rough struggle trying to recover. When you're born with sleep apnea, you have nerve damage, you have brain damage. Your body doesn't heal right. So all the injuries I've had over those years are healing, thank goodness. But I had something rather interesting happen to me the last couple of weeks. And when we get really down, I remembered I'm talking to you and you said you would pray for me, and I appreciate that, Kevin.
And I still do, Brian.
And I started reading my scriptures again. And I read a part that basically said that the saints, they prayed and they fasted, and then they received revelation from the Lord on what they should do. And that's what I want for Christmas, for everybody. And I've been fasting because of this health condition. When I was younger, I was kind of thin and tall and didn't have a lot of weight, so I couldn't fast very long. Well, this week I did it for a day, and then I did it for a day and a half. And this was all prompted by reading my scriptures, and my wife bought a book about health, and the doctor talks about how fasting helps your cells detox and cleanse. And I can tell you that's helping, and I can tell you I got revelation from reading my scriptures and praying that that's something I needed to do. You know, sometimes we're all worried about what everybody else needs to do. And I think since we're talking about Christmas, if Christ was here, he would say, what do you need to do? And we all know what we need to change. That's building a wall. Now, do I think we need a wall on the border? Yeah, we do. Your house has a wall. You have a fence if you live in a subdivision. That's a wall. Costco has a wall. Schools have walls. Prisons have walls. We've used walls for thousands of years to keep bad things out. Does it work 100% of the time? No. But it's just like having firearms. They're there in case you need them. And we've got an issue on that border, and we do need that wall. We can argue about, do we need this and that and that? Yeah, we need to do all the things I've heard said. But anybody that says we don't need that wall, tear down the walls of your house, tear down the walls of your prison, tear down the walls of Costco. It ain't going to happen. Even, I believe, the Garden of Eden was protected by a wall. And then they were put out of the garden. Did evil still get into the garden? Yes, the snake still got in, and we still have to be vigilant. But we're not going to tear down all of our boundaries and open ourselves up. Got any questions for me, Kevin?
No, Brian, I'm good. God bless you. Merry Christmas. We'll be on tomorrow, but thank you. And are you doing the CPAP for your sleep apnea, or how are you treating that?
Yeah, it's more than that. I have what's called complex migraines, where part of my body goes completely numb, like a stroke. And about 3 months ago, I had a sequence of those in a short time. And my grandpa's gone through this. My dad's gone through it. My sister, my brother, my nephew, probably my son. It's genetic. I don't know if that part of it is related to the sleep apnea or if that's a separate issue, but I'm not worried about that. You kind of get to a point in your life, Kevin, where you accept certain limitations, and I have strong faith. Even if I die tomorrow, I know where I'm going, and I'm thankful for that.
God bless you, my friend. Take care.
Yep.
All right, our friend Brian, we appreciate that. David, go ahead.
I'd like to address his question of if Jesus was here, what would he ask? My life verse, Micah 6:8. What does the Lord ask of you? To act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly before my God. That's what he would ask.
Holly in Caldwell joins us now on KIDO Talk Radio. Holly, good to have you with us. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well, Kevin. We love your show. You do a great job, and thank you so much for giving us a voice to talk about issues in the Treasure Valley. As much as we would hope that a wall could fix our problems, and as much as I support our president up until he passed the bump stock ban a few days ago, there's a lot of people who work for the Border Patrol who say a wall would do no difference, and unfortunately there's a huge facade that there's any kind of security in this country. And until we cut our social programs with free health care, free food, free housing, free everything, it's like leaving food out in your kitchen. The mice are going to come. And I'm not saying the people coming are mice. What I'm saying is the real problem is the free dole. And until we really want to fix our programs, any kind of spent is not going to stop people from coming for that kind of free aid. And so, and also, it's poisoning the people that we have here because they're feeling entitled and expecting those things, and it's having to learn to work for themselves and to defend their individual liberty. And I wish that a wall could fix this, but all that is a statute to what people want is an easy fix, and unfortunately, it's not going to work.
Well, Holly, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Appreciate the nice comments. Tea Party Bob.
Well, I think she's right. Again, we go back to the...
She says the wall's not going to work.
Well, it works in some ways. It doesn't work in others. Yes, they're going to find other ways to get in.
So you agree with her that the wall doesn't work?
Well, Kevin, you can't just say something doesn't work. There are problems with everything. I mean...
I disagree with her. I will go out on a limb and say we need a wall.
When you open up the door and you say, okay, we're going to give you anything you want if you can get in the country, they're going to get in the country one way or another. When you have employers that are going to employ them, they're going to stay in the country and you can't get rid of them. I mean, you open up the door, you give them all of the opportunity, and you say, come on in, but you don't want them. So you're going to build a wall. Yeah, it's going to stop some of them, but it's not going to stop all of them.
So what are you saying? Are you for the wall or not?
Yeah, you have to build a wall if you want to have any kind of a structure to keep people out, but you're not going to be able to stop it. You can't stop them all. It's impossible.
Well, you have the troops on the border. You can stop them.
You still had over 56,000 that they've collected, illegals that have crossed the border.
And they've been stopped.
But the troops, and they're getting away because now they're going to let them go.
More wall, more troops.
Well, I don't know. Do you want to spend all that time and all that money with troops?
Yeah. I'd rather do that because...
There are easier ways.
No, there aren't. Because, on the other hand, you're taking a look at all the social welfare programs that it's costing us. So, yeah, if we're going to spend money, I'd rather spend money on keeping people out than encouraging them to come in. And right now, there are no consequences for their actions.
Why not stop the social welfare programs? Why not have E-Verify? That stops them because they can't find work and they can't get any freebies.
Sure. However, at the point, let's build the wall. Let's build the wall.
I don't have anything against the wall. I told you that.
Well, no, you were flip-flopping on me.
I said you can't stop the wall.
Bruce, was he flip-flopping on me there?
A little bit. Mine is
So you're a flip-flopper.
To me, the wall is solving several different issues. When you're talking immigration, be it illegal immigration, the wall will get maybe 70% of them. It's not going to get all of them. But it helps cut down on everything else. There's not one thing that's going to solve all the issues. The wall is part of probably 5, 6, 7 different things that need to happen.
Anybody else?
I think
anti-wall Brian. Yes, go ahead.
I think the other things need to happen first before the wall goes up. I think that when you take care of the other things, the other issues that we have internally here, that would intently mitigate the necessity. Like what? You were saying, well, it takes a while for education to happen. No, we need to literally...
It does. It would take years. It would take hundreds of years.
It wouldn't take but a mere section of voting to say, hey, get everybody out of there that is causing this.
One person's education is another person's indoctrination.
That could be true in that regard.
That could be. It is true.
It is.
Look at what the kids are taught today. Socialism is good, and the founding fathers are bad.
That's because we allow it, though.
Well, yeah.
Well, my daughter's going through classical education. She's being taught quite the opposite.
Right, but you have a lot of people that value that hate America, that are all about sticking it to the man.
Well, they've been told that's they've been told by their government that, hey, this is what's good.
May not be by their government. It may be by their friends, peers, and teachers.
Yeah, but those are the people that are being spearheaded by the government to do that.
Oh, I don't think so. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. I mean, Terry, your thoughts on this at all, or are you just going to sit there like a bump on the log?
No. Bob and I don't agree on a lot, but we definitely agree on most of this. There needs to be deterrent, and everything I'm hearing this morning is deterrent. But I specifically like what Brian here has told us. We need to be looking at the hearts of man, because it is wicked and deceitful, yea, among all things. And until we can help turn around the attitudes in this country. I mean, 63 million out of over 300 million people voted for a man that's making a difference in our country. Those are some pretty bad stats if you really think about it. So, again, it does get back to man. We're allowing it. And Kevin,
wait a minute. When you're looking at it, you have a lot of people that believe just as passionately with their thoughts as we do in ours. So you can't sit there and say, hey, the libs are wrong, no more lib talk.
I like what has worked for this country for hundreds of years. It has made us the country that we are. And it certainly are not the principles that the libs are living by. It's those conservative values and conservative principles. It's our faith in God that has brought us to where we're at now. Unfortunately, I think we're on the downside. We're heading the other way.
More coming up next, KIDO Talk Radio. All right, Kevin Miller in the morning here. The Christmas party as ever, as festive as ever. David, you want to say something before you leave?
Yes, I wanted to thank you for your hospitality, Kevin. Thanks for letting crazy California into your studio this morning. And Merry Christmas, everyone, and have happy holidays and a good New Year.
Well, we appreciate you, sir, and God bless you and your family.
Thank you. Same to you.
And, it's funny. We invite people in and then they don't talk, so... We'll go to the phones, and we will go to Julie in Boise with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning. How are you?
Ever as festive as ever with the crew we have in here this morning, ma'am.
Well, that's great. This is my first time calling in, so I appreciate you taking my phone call.
Well, we welcome people that call in. The other day, Jeff the Suit says, "Oh, your show is just the same 5 callers every day, blah, blah, blah." I said, no, that's why you're wrong, Jeff the Suit. We have people calling in every day. So, Julie, welcome.
Thank you. Well, he needs to listen a little bit more. I listen to you every morning on my way to work.
Well, thank you.
So what I would like to say is I heartily agree with building the wall. And I woke up this morning feeling, listening to the news and whatnot, feeling a little bit more frustrated and angry with everyone who is against doing this. And so I appreciated, I believe it was a comment by Bruce, that the wall's not going to fix everything. But why not do it and fix what it can fix and then work on the other issues that will enhance that wall? There's no reason not to do it just because it's not going to be 100% effective. And so, that kind of, it was so nice to hear that side of the argument because I've always believed that. I don't care whether the wall is cement. I don't care whether it's that architecturally beautiful slats. We need the wall to keep out the things that we can keep out.
Agreed,
So,
Julie. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I just, it lifted my spirits a little bit more to hear that comment from him. I hope I have the name right.
Bruce, Bill, he's enjoying his food. So thank you, Julie.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You have a good day.
And call back again.
I certainly will. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Let's go to Christian in Weiser on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Christian.
Hey, Kevin. Good morning. How you doing?
It's been a while.
Yeah. I never seem to get a chance to call anymore. But, we're talking about this wall. Have you ever been down on the border and seen what it's like? It is
the closest
like
I've been
watching
is.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead. It was a rhetorical question. My bad. I've sent a few reporters down there, and our old friend Bill LeMay went for me. But go ahead, please. Talk about the border.
It's crazy. It is like an invasion. You go and stand there at the border fence at Tijuana, between Tijuana and San Diego, and just stand there and watch. And there are literally hundreds of people furtively moving in the shadows, scattered around, Border Patrol cars up over the hills, helicopters. It's a constant invasion. And I was in Mexico in my camper once. I was coming out. I was alongside the border fence on the 4-lane road coming out into Tijuana. And I got a flat tire, and I pulled over, so I'm like literally right by the fence, kind of squeezed in the lane still. I pulled over, stopped, got out. 2 Mexican guys run over, take the jack from me. Well, I was going to start to jack up the thing and start changing the tire for me. I thought, well, that's nice. No, they were excited to use my truck as cover. 2 more guys came. One of them climbed the fence through, it looked like canvas tarp over the barbed wire, and then they proceeded to signal people 2 or 3 at a time that would run, jump up, climb up the fence, jump over, and we're gone. So saying we need to build a wall, yeah, we need a wall. We need something that we can patrol. And that's the thing is we can build a wall. We can build an 80-foot wall. Unless we have people down there like military patrolling the wall, they're just going to build ladders and come over anyway. It's got to be more than just a wall. And I'm not sure what the plan is or how they, you picture a wall, it's like, okay, there's a wall through hundreds of miles of desert. Are they going to have guard towers every mile? Are they going to have people, constantly on the wall on the watch to patrol it? Because what they have, it's about a 20-foot fence, like I said, in Tijuana, this was 20 years ago, barbed wire, and they were just up and over and under and just constantly getting through. And I don't know. I'm all for a wall. Because like I said, we need something there, an initial barrier. But then, we're going to need constant patrolling and military, patrol, I think.
Good thoughts, Christian. Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you too, and God bless you.
God bless you, brother.